Hi, and welcome to Matt Holman Talks Mental Health, the podcast where we're just talking to everyday normal people about their experiences of mental health. So pleased today to be joined by a friend of mine, another friend of mine. Everybody seems to be a friend of mine, which is fantastic. So Graham Collins is joining us. So what I'm going to do, as per the standard approach to these, is I'm going to give my view of who Graham is to me, how I know him, and what I see from my perspective. And then I'm going to ask Graham to introduce himself from his perspective. So good morning to you, Graham.
Good morning, Matthew. How are you? I'm not too
Very
bad
well.
on a cloudy Friday morning that we're at.
Oh dear, yeah. So we're going to hope for some sunshine. That's the most important thing. So introduction to Graham. So Graham is somebody that I've known for probably 2 or 3 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
We got to know each other through a community running club that Graham's a very active participant in through the Hatch Warren Runners, and it's been a great sort of experience getting to know Graham a little bit over those years. We've bumped into each other on trains when Graham's been commuting from London, and I don't do that, but and just seeing Graham as sort of somebody that's very similar to me in many ways, with sort of our running experiences, but also families. We both have children, we're married, and this is something that's really important to us as well. So I'm not going to say too much more really about Graham, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know a huge amount apart from the running stuff and a little bit about the family side. So Graham, over to you. Introduction please, sir.
Thank you very much. So yeah, Graham Collins, as Matthew said, we predominantly know each other through the running club. Myself, family-wise, I'm married. I've got 2 girls, a 9-year-old and a 13-year-old. So that's a good start to actually remember their age. My work life, obviously, is very different during these times of COVID. Predominantly, I work out of London and Canary Wharf, but for the last 6 months, it's been very much a home-based activity. And touch wood, thankfully, I have been employed during this time, so I haven't obviously gone to furlough like many other people have been impacted by the COVID scheme, but very much a different working life than I was previously had before COVID struck, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, welcome, Graham, and it is lovely to catch up with you. I know we've stalled a couple of times there, but we're on it now. Yeah, you want to say something?
No, it's just like, I'm definitely no expert on mental health and the best way to handle it, but I'd just say these podcasts are great. Like, it's just allowed listening to each one so far that we are facing all the same battles. We all may think everyone's got the perfect life from the outside, but we all have different challenges. And especially at this time, we're all in a big storm, but we're all handling it different way and being impacted different ways. So thank you for taking your time out really to host these podcasts.
Oh, no, and it's my pleasure. It really is. It's so important. I think, you're a normal everyday guy like I am. It's something we have to remind ourselves is, we all have this wonderful ability to see mental health and understand it. And I think you're right, but even I'm not an expert in mental health. I'm just somebody that has a very strong, passionate viewpoint on mental health.
Yeah.
I try and impart that and support people. So it is great to have you, Graham. And this is going to be an amazing conversation. I know it already, because the preamble conversation stuff is. I find that we should record that, because that's where the giggles and the laughs come in.
Save all this.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the nerves and anxieties and everything else that we create through the live recording of this. But let's talk about you. This is what this is about. I want to hear more about you, because there's lots of people that would already know Graham Collins through the community and through your workplace or wherever anybody's listening to this. If you don't know Graham, you obviously got a quick introduction. Tell me a little bit about your life, your experiences, what's been going on for you.
So it's like, first of all, if I was thinking outside and what people may think of me, they probably see me as quite relaxed, very laid back, don't really let anything bother me. But as I mentioned, I still have the same worries, the same self-doubts, and going back to some of your podcasts, like you say, like imposter syndrome, do I give myself enough credit? I can probably tick all them boxes as well. It's like there is the outside persona, and inside, I still feel that I face the same challenges that everyone else, and we all handle them different ways. So it is just, with mental health, like, predominantly me and you, we know each other through running, as we mentioned, that if we got injured running or pulled a muscle, what would we do?
Yeah.
We'd probably go and see a physio. Sadly, if we're all struggling maybe with a bit of mental health, we don't do that. A lot of people, we just try and carry on and battle on, when first thing I do, if I got injured in a race, physio, I need to fix it. And it's just weird that we don't treat mental health the same way in some aspects. But if I just wanted to go back to like COVID, so when that impacted, obviously everything you read during the first lockdown is, oh, take this opportunity, let's learn a new language, let's get out, let's get the fittest we've ever been, let's change the house from top to bottom. Me personally, no, I didn't do that. I must admit, early lockdown, I struggled to just have the motivation to get out, run. It was races were cancelled. Homeschooling. I became homeschooling, like a dad teaching whilst trying to obviously juggle a job. So pre-COVID, as you mentioned, I work in Canary Wharf, so I used to get up. I think it was that 6:27 train. Actually, I looked on my phone the other day and saw the train app. It's like, I can't remember the last time I actually needed to look at that. But yeah, for 2.5 years, I've been travelling on the train at 6:30 in the morning, getting back probably about 6:30 at night. Within that, probably running 3 or 4 times a week. So the family probably saw me as a passing train of in the house, out the house, in the house, out the house. And even when I started actually working in London, I struggled a bit initially with just how much I miss the kids. And it was very weird. And I don't know. I don't know. It's probably not surprising, but it did surprise me. So coming back to obviously now, I've been very fortunate, as I said, to work from home. It brings the new challenges, but from working from home environment, I think you just have to try and get structure and put yourself into a routine, set yourself out your own boundaries, because it's very hard to work. I work out of my eldest daughter's bedroom. That is my new.
I thought it was your bedroom.
These are the 4 walls that I see. So previously, I might have been able to see the glitzy London. Now I just see my daughter's bedroom and everything else that brings. But it is just trying to keep it to a routine, because I could easily find myself just sat at the laptop all day. I start normally, try to log on at about 8 o'clock. So that's quite a good routine to when I log off. But do I really get out for a morning walk? Do I get out for a run? Not. I probably haven't that much as I should do. And I know some people do like the morning commute, and that probably something I should try, just to break it up or make you feel like you've got your home life, you've got your work life. So I can't say I've learned a new hobby during the last 6 months. But I've been very fortunate. And yes, we probably had daily arguments with the kids during homeschooling. But my view was, if they learn anything, fantastic. It is what it is. And getting through each day was a positive initially at the start. Going on to the positives from it, I'm very lucky that during this time, I've probably spent more time with the kids than I ever have done in the last number of years. And this may sound bad, but it feels like I've reconnected in some way back with the kids. Because previously I got up so early, went into London, so I didn't see them get up. I'd get home probably tired. They'd be tired after their days. And the normal, how family life is, you just get caught up in the everyday life rat race. So I've been grateful for that opportunity. I've probably played more board games in the last 6 months than I ever have in the last few years with the kids, and had that opportunity to, as I mentioned, reconnect and spend good quality time with them, whilst there is a lot going on. And obviously now we're about to enter into another tier lockdown, whatever it is. I think it just comes back to trying to change my mindset. What can I control? What can I change? I'm fortunate that I have a house and a garden, so I can get out in it. I'm fortunate, obviously, at the moment we can run with one other person. Obviously that may change coming in a couple of weeks. It's just control, and it goes back to this same old topic that you hear, like control the controllables. And I try and keep that just at the forefront of everything, because I can't fix the world. And we're like yourself, Matt. We're not superstars. We're not heroes. We're not supermen. We're just everyday people trying to get through every day as best as we can. And at the moment, I should be grateful that I've got a healthy family. It's just battling on, and no different to any of these. And it's weird, as you mentioned, being in a running club and being chairman of that running club. I struggle to even get the motivation to go out to run. And it's like, how can you try and keep the motivation of 300 other members to say, come on, let's run, let's hit these targets. But at this time, it just, sometimes other things take priority.
I think that's fascinating. Yeah, the thing that you've just said about being the chairman of a running club, which we didn't put in the introduction actually, but you are the chairman of a 300+ membership running club, and so your visibility to the whole group of that running community is much greater than any other of the member. Because you're the one that people look at in terms of setting the standard, the rules, the expectations, and what I do find fascinating is what you've just said. Your motivation to run has changed as well. Yet you're trying to do this. This to me sounds very similar to sort of how we look at life in many ways. We try to be everything for everybody, or we try to put on this sort of this mask or this view of ourselves that people think, yeah, they've got it, they know what they're doing, they've got it all under control. And what I love, Graham, honestly, is you can say, I don't feel like I want to run, or my motivation's not quite there, or something is not right. And that's what community brings. That's how I genuinely feel. I don't know how you feel.
And I know there's this whole big, I'm very grateful in our running club that the members make it. Yeah. Like we've only been successful because how it was set up, how it's continued over the last few years. It's a running club for anyone and any pace, any age. It's just, and fortunate that it's community, and that's what it is. Everyone in the club, we look out for each other, and it's not just about your best time. It is, we're there for each other, and during these times, obviously, it's a lot harder to do that. But if I could put something out, I'm no different. And brilliant. I know some people in the club have run loads, and that's fantastic. But then also many of others have struggled, and that's perfectly fine as well. It's just it is okay to admit or just say we can't be superstars. We do what we do, and touch wood. I'm looking forward to the day and when we can finally reopen the running club, because we were in such a great place. It was
there's loads going on, wasn't it? And
it was so much going on, and that probably played a big part in my life, and that was put on pause. So it is a change. It is a recirculation in mind. But I'd love the day when it can be, let's just get back together. Let's just forget everything else, because running for me personally is just my me time. Yeah. It just allows me to get my headspace, get that freedom to just forget about the everyday rat race. And we talked, so just sort of insights for anybody that's listening. Graham and I had a conversation about Groundhog Day. I was giving an example of walking my dog, and how in the morning I can walk past the same 4 people and have the same sort of nod of the head, hello, and then know tomorrow it's going to be exactly the same, and it feels like that. So you're sort of saying about living for the days. Obviously it's very hard to know when things will change in the future for running, or for holidays or experiences, or going back to workplaces, physical workplaces. So how are you finding those days? You talked a bit about not getting out so much, or maybe the running motivation slowing or gone. How are you finding that, Graham? In your words, in the way you see it. Again, at the outset, it was lockdown came, and it was like I had the initial relief of probably thinking, I don't have to get up so early. I don't have to go. And then it was school was locked down, so the kids. It was just trying to juggle that, trying to juggle your job, trying to juggle just being a dad, being a husband, being everything really. I think initially, and probably still more now, I probably put myself under too much pressure, because we're not in the normal world. And I do have to remind myself to just change my mindset and just appreciate that anything I can do is fantastic. I don't have to tick 100 boxes every day and say I achieve this, I achieve that, I achieve that. It is setting yourself small goals as well, and that's what I've tried to do. Even though running has been a struggle sometimes, I've still managed to probably get out 3 times a week. Yes, I may be not doing the distance I want to do. I've had one race this year that ended up to be my first attempt at 100 miles that I never anticipated it being my first race this year. And was that hampered probably by some of my training and my lack of motivation to get? Yeah, it was.
Sure.
To break the Groundhog Day is just try and keep a routine.
Mm.
It's to appreciate every moment that I have and be grateful that the kids are healthy. It's the wife's healthy, the family are healthy. It's trying to just keep to that routine and little things of this week. I've run with a couple of other members in the club, and that's just that opportunity to see someone else, just even have them discussions like we're having now, that everyone is feeling them same pressures, everyone's facing them same challenges. But when you're cocooned in your Groundhog Day of you're in your house, you're logging on, doing your work, finish, watch TV, whatever you do in the evening, you probably don't have the opportunity that we had previously where you could just pop to the shops as easy, or I don't know, take a drive to the beach, or just meet up in friends, have a beer, and just put the world to right in the nicest way possible. It is just trying to take every day as an achievement and getting through, hopefully, one day closer to this being over. And it will be over. And we will get through this and we'll look back and think we learnt probably a hell of a lot. And my outlook will probably change on some things, like what I may like, I don't know, you like local businesses and things like that. You appreciate things a lot more than the big glitzy and glammy, like going to London every day and think, oh, like this. I don't know. I just think it will change my mindset going forward and appreciate more things that I probably should have done previously.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's your perspective, and I find that wonderful that you're able to sort of look at a routine and the way that you see a routine, because some people would think, well, a routine is like Groundhog Day, but actually a routine can be really useful in terms of just knowing what you're doing, but having that flexibility within there to change things at times, and sort of giving yourself that space is really important too. Bit of headspace, thinking about what's really important to you. I think a lot of people, the conversations I've had, a lot of people are really valuing this time to reevaluate lots of things. Whether it's getting up at getting on the train at 6:27 in the morning, or spending an extra hour with the kids every day, or just taking some time for self-care, in the routine of the day. It's a fascinating sort of world that's evolved into very quickly as well. So
I say, and I think to be grateful to the company that I work for, they've been very good through this as well. And it may change the perception of how businesses look at working from home, because there's all that stigma previously of, are they actually working from home? And I think some of the things we've achieved, even from my work this year, is just phenomenal, because we've had to adapt. We're in different situations. We're on a Zoom call. And you go onto a WebEx meeting or something, and you see people in their I don't know, their houses, their bedrooms. But everyone, we're getting through this.
Yeah.
And you hear the expectation of we should do things differently, or we're all in the offices. It's just, we've adapted. And as humans, we adapt. And yes, change is a big thing, and people adapt to different ways and change. But we need to embrace it. And this potentially is not going anywhere for the next 6 months, potentially. Who knows? We don't know. But this will probably bring some positives, and like you say, change the mindset. But we always hear as well, like, be kind, and there's so much about that, and social network, which I must admit, if I probably didn't have the running club, would I be on the social network as much? No, probably not. I'd probably take myself off. But just to give me that headspace again. But it's like you say, be kind. But most importantly, we need to be kind to ourselves. We need to be kind to ourselves, appreciate. We need that me time. We need to be nice to ourselves. Then, yes, providing we're nice to each other and think about ourselves, then we can be nice to others as well. And hopefully bring that positivity to brighten someone's day up anyway, hopefully.
Mate, well, you know what, that's it, isn't it? Self-care is so important, and I preach on about this all the time, and and I'm probably my worst sort of enemy when I talk about it, because I don't do it all the time as well. And it's that reality that says I need to look after me first, and yes, you've got dependencies, so you have children, you have a wife, and other people that rely on you, of course, but the reality is we need to do that first, look after ourselves. The old analogies are always there around sort of putting your oxygen mask on first on a plane, and all those things. We talk about them very frequently, in the mental health world in particular. And it's just a recognition to say it's all right to be kind to yourself. And it's actually really beneficial. When you're kind to yourself, you feel better. When you're kind to yourself and you feel better, then you feel like sharing that and imparting that to others, supporting others through their challenges. And that's something we all can do more with. I definitely feel that.
And it's not like, that's not meant to come across arrogant in any way, or like ignore another one. But if we're happier in our own headspace and our own person, then that should radiate off to other people and make them feel as well. But and that's a fantastic thing, like these podcasts are doing. It's just hopefully putting that message out that we are all getting through this, and we will get through this. And it's that old to-be as well. It's okay not to be okay. It is. We will get through this, and we just got to keep on battling on. And yes, it's probably taking longer than we all anticipated, but a new norm will return. And whatever that new life will look like, yes, it may be very different, and different scenarios that we come up, but we will get through it, and we will keep on battling. So,
I'm a big fan that says we're already in a new norm, because now is the norm. Now is what we're in. So this is normal. This should be normal. And we keep saying it's abnormal, or there's different things that this is the current normal. Try to look at it that way, and try to focus on this thought that says, I'm just going to deal with what I've got today, because who knows, I can't make plans for next year. I can't even make plans for Christmas.
No, and like you say, it is changing that mindset.
Yeah.
Because any scenario that we enter into, we all look for negatives. Probably 100%. Straight away, our default position is negative. Mm-hmm. What's wrong? Instead of maybe taking a step back, in any scenario, there will be a positive. We might not think it that 1 second, but if we don't change that mindset, it will just take over, and negative, when it is just positive. We're here now. We're chatting on just via modern technology, just connecting with people that we probably wouldn't have done before. And a bit like at the outset of lockdown, the quizzes, and you just get back to, I don't know, probably just human living, like what we're supposed to do: talk, spend time, connect, and appreciate each other more.
We're back on the family quizzes. So my family, we do a Sunday quiz, and I'm enjoying it, because the first lockdown, I was quizmaster every week. I think I did about 5 or 6, and then this time round, I've said I'm not the quizmaster, and I've really enjoyed participating. It is a nice way to connect, especially when your families are, well, they're not even displaced necessarily. My brother lives up the road, and I can't see him. And so a big shout out to him, because he's contracted, or he's positive COVID, and he's coming through recovery. So his family unit's on lockdown at the minute, so which is something that happened, and we're just managing through that. So I've been a little shopper helper for my brother. Quite interesting. So payback's coming, just in case. I'm sure he will be listening. So this is what it's about. It's about supporting each other. And I want to drive, we've got another 6 or 7 minutes on here. I want to take this conversation to that next point of supporting each other, because this is what this is all about. And you've said it many times in here. We're trying to reach out through these podcasts to, even if one person listens, right? And I'd hope that more than one would, but you know what? If one person listens, it'll probably be me listening back to it. But if one person listens and finds something in here that's actually saying, okay, it's all right to talk about this stuff, fab, we're doing a great job, and success all around. That's the objective, task, and everything else achieved. But you're also in this role as the chairman of a running club. You did something recently which I was really impressed by, because you changed the conversation within the community to a positive conversation. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I am very grateful that I've got a great committee behind me as well. It's not just me.
No, okay. You represent the committee then.
I'm the ugly face of the club,
You're the voice of the radio, right?
Yeah, the voice of the radio. That is very much me.
You're welcome.
I've ruined all my illusions after watching this back as well. So in the running club, obviously, we're a running club, so running is fundamental part of our DNA. It is what we're about and why we're there. But at this moment in time, running may not be priority for many others, which I can fully appreciate. And that's something to bear in mind during these times of not everyone will be focused on running, which I can totally understand, because there's so much going on. So as I said, I'm very fortunate that I've managed to stay employed through this period. I work for a business, so I'm not self-employed, but many members are self-employed. They're sole traders or they're local businesses. And at this moment in time, we've got to try and help them through this period of time. And
Brilliant.
so within the running club, what I did is just put a post out to just ask any of our members who are sole traders, who are local businesses, to just let me know. Put a post on the group so I know their website or their Facebook page or their name. So my plan is through December, and I might have to, we've got quite a lot of replies, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So my idea is through December is just to put a post out on our public page. Yes, our public page has not got millions and millions of views, but if I can help these people by attracting 1 or 2 new customers or clients to their business, fantastic. It's just trying to make a small difference, and it is a small difference, but we can only try. And hopefully one post may reach one person, but then they may talk to a friend and they may talk to a family member, and it just may hopefully help people during these times. And it's hard on social network to promote in some ways because it's full of so much news and everything else, but it's just taking it away that we're not just a running club. We're here to try and help our members through. And if we can make that small difference and this idea can help someone in some way, fantastic. It's all we can do, because I could carry on posting about people's great running. And there is a lot of people doing great things out there. Whilst we may not have races, it's fantastic to see as well. But other people in the club, they may not be focused on running. They may be focused on how can we get the next bill paid, which is sad in these current times and not a situation that I couldn't comprehend. But if I can help and we can help all together, then fantastic. And like yourself, and we mentioned before, a lot of us may not have even known some of these people have local businesses. And even within our membership group ourselves, we've learned about our members even more. We may take that opportunity to use them going forward.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. You know, I can only commend in terms of, it's a simple thing to do, but so effective in the sense of feeling that way. Because you're right, there are lots of people in the club or in the community. Let's say it's just a community, and this is for anybody. You know, if you're in a community where you've got commonality, which the commonality of the community is running, of course, in this one that we're talking about. But if you're in any type of community, remember that everybody has their own experiences, backgrounds, responsibilities, jobs, and whatever it might be. Yeah. Some people are employed, some people are struggling, some people have lost their jobs, some people have got small businesses, they're trying to keep the doors open, and it's really hard to do right now for many reasons. So supporting each other actually becomes this wonderful sort of thing. I don't know about you, Graham, and I'm sure you would agree if you'd say, you know, the community aspect has become so important now. You know,
and we rely on the community. Yeah, like we wouldn't have a running club. I wouldn't have a running club. I wouldn't be chairman of a running club. I probably wouldn't enjoy my running as much if we didn't have people join the club. So the community is key, and it's always been key. And I'm fortunate that I'm able to continue that or try and take it forward. And yes, people may leave the club post all this, which I can fully understand, for its priorities take over. Yeah. But it's not going to it doesn't take much time for me, it won't, to do some posts. And again, as I mentioned, if it hits one person, fantastic. I would have spent my time probably doing other stuff for the running club. So if I can help our members during this time, great.
And we've already seen some of that reaction, you know. Yeah. We've seen people putting their posts in there, putting their details in there. You know, there are lots of different trades in the community. And a job for everything. We should build a Hatch Warren house. You know, this is what we've got.
And that's the thing. In our hour of need, we might not think we ever need it, but someone needs an electrician. Someone needs, I don't know, a dog walker, a house sitter, a hairdresser, a builder, painter, decorator, everything.
And those are all jobs that I'm available for. If anybody, I'm not sure I'm any good at them, but you know, we have some amazing people within there.
But so we're going to close. What you do, Matt? As well. No, sorry, just to jump in. But like, even for what you do in your company, like, it needs to be shouted about, because it makes a difference. And if it helps people more that they're not aware, fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah. And you know, that's our objective within what we're doing. And we're trying to support more people all the time. And, you know, this is what it's down to. It's human to human connection. We are struggling with some of these sort of relationships at the moment because of the distance. But actually, this technology, this type of forum, this media, whatever you want to call it, is going to help. We are coming to the end, Graham. This conversation's been half an hour and it just has flown past. I could sit and talk to you for hours, of course.
Hopefully we won't send too many people to sleep.
Yeah, well, this is it. So this is when we start telling jokes to each other and all these things. Closing out, I'm going to give you the floor in a second. I just want to say a huge thank you from me. You know, this is a podcast that I launched a couple of weeks ago. Who knows if people want to listen to it? I really hope they will. It's inspiring to listen to you, to listen to anybody that participates in these discussions. And I just want to encourage, if anybody does want to talk to me, spend half an hour or actually an hour, because we do a bit of preamble and chat about stuff. Feel free to get in touch. Please do. Graham, from me, it's been a pleasure. I hope the community of anybody that's listening to this finds this useful. If you need anything, always remember Samaritans is there as an independent resource. Always feel free to reach out to Samaritans. It's free to call on 116-123. I'll always close these podcasts with that as a comment as well. Never feel that you're on your own. Really, really make sure that you reach out and talk to people. That's what this is all about. We all need to talk about mental health, and it is really important. So, Graham, thank you. Last words, closing from you, sir.
Very much. Thank you, Matt, for giving me this opportunity. And as you've outlined, hopefully this just promotes it is okay to not feel okay. It is okay to admit that you're struggling through these times, because we all are, adults, kids. It's scary times, it can be, especially if you watch the news every day. So let's keep on talking. We will get through this. We're in our new normal. We need to get used to it, and we just need to embrace it in some way, because life goes on, and we should be just grateful for every day that we've got at the moment.
Wise words, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matthew.
We do the wave at the end, and then we know when we're... Okay, see you, mate. Take care.
Cheers, Matt. Bye.